And welcome back. We're getting toward the end of the women's basketball and men's basketball season, which means senior night's coming up here soon. And on senior night, there'll be a pink out game. The women's basketball team will be wearing their pink uniforms for that one. And our very own Kyle Wright had a chance to sit down and talk with head coach Tiffani Selhorst about this game.
Thank you, Caleb, and I am joined by Coach Selhorst here to talk about a very special event coming up on Saturday, February 11th. It's the Play4Kay game for the Indiana University East women's basketball program. The Red Wolves will be taking on WVU Tech on Lingle Court in the new Student Events and Activities Center, and the admission is going to be reduced. And what will also happen is representatives from Reed Bravo will be on hand. Reed Bravo helps in the fight against women's cancers in the Richmond area, and they'll be on hand to take donations in that fight against women's cancers. So, Coach, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Always glad to have you, and hoping you can give us a history lesson first. It's Play4Kay. For those that are not familiar with Kay Chow, the legendary North Carolina State women's basketball coach, that's who this is named after. If you could just tell us who Coach Chow was and how this this event came to be.
Well, Coach Chow was a pioneer in coaching women's basketball and getting it to where, you know, just the level of what people want to kind of see, the speed of the game, fun, and just giving opportunities for women. So she was very big on that. She had been in the coaching ranks for a long time, but she had gotten cancer a couple of times within her career as a coach at NC State. This last time, which was about 2007, was the time that actually ended up taking her life. But she set out before she died from the disease that she wanted to spread the word on getting women's basketball into getting research funds for all of women's cancers. So she was a pioneer in that as well. So they set up the Play4Kay fund to help research for all women's cancers.
But I think we've asked you this in the past. Did you ever get to meet Coach Chow or been at some of her clinics, or have you met her in the past?
Yes, I actually did get to meet her. Man, I can't even remember what year it was, but she was being honored at an event for Athletes in Action, which I used to work for. I was a graphic designer before I got into college coaching, and she was being honored there, and I was able to spend a little bit of time with her. And it's just, it wasn't much, but she was one of those people that, you know, just being in her presence, you just felt like, wow, this person is really touched in changing the world. So it was, I mean, I wish now I could have asked her more questions, and I wish she was around now, because I know, being in coaching that long, she's probably gone through everything in the book, and it would be nice to, you know, have somebody like that to help you get through some of these decisions that you have to make that you're not so sure what you need to do. So very blessed to have met her, and regret not picking her brain a little bit more.
And you mentioned it's been almost a decade since the Play4Kay movement's been in existence. Mm-hmm. We've obviously tried to get on board as best we can here at IU East. If you talk about some of the other coaching stops you've had, some of the more creative ways or best ways you've seen the event marked, either at your own schools or at some visiting schools.
Okay. Well, when I first got into coaching at the college level, I was at Ohio University. It was just getting off the ground, so I'm pretty sure our second year that I was there, we played in pink jerseys, and we went all pink. But that was just at the ground level of this all getting started. When I coached at St. Francis University in Pennsylvania, we started to make it a bigger deal. My head coach at the time was from Penn State University, and they were known for having one of the best Play4Kay fundraising events in all of college women's basketball. So when she got to St. Francis, she wanted to continue that, and we were only about an hour and a half, so we could play off of some of those people that would go to the Penn State games be able to come. We've done some really cool things at St. Francis. We always played in pink jerseys. After that was over, the game was over, we would auction them off in a silent auction, and whatever we raised through that went back to the Play4Kay Fund, or Think Pink Fund is what it was. Handing out T-shirts to everybody, reducing admission. One of the things that we want to do here, is that your next question, by the way? Is what, okay, I'll wait for that. Go ahead.
Okay. And well, actually, before we look ahead to the future, we'll look back at we've had 2 Play4Kay games here in 2 years at IU East, both wins. Last year, in my role as close to a spectator, it was really enjoyable to watch. It was 91-88, and it was the conference game of the week. As a coach, maybe it was a little more nerve-wracking for yourself, but more importantly, raised about $800 in one day partnering with Reed Bravo. And if you could reflect back on the first couple of Play4Kay efforts that we've had here.
Sure. You know, our first year doing it, I think it was kind of one of the first times that some of our people in this area had kind of heard about Play4Kay and how big it was becoming, because it was mainly a Division I, NCAA Division I thing. But within the last few years, it's been hitting kind of some of the other levels, and I would like to make it big here. So we're working on it to make it bigger and better every year. Last year's game against Brescia was fun. I'm going to say it was nerve-wracking for me, but it was a lot of fun because it was such a good game, and Brescia was a very good team. We let them know that it was our Play4Kay, so they got involved too, and had some pink shoelaces, and Summer, their head coach at the time, wore a pink outfit, and I just remember her having these 4-inch high stiletto, bright pink, hot pink heels. So I appreciated the fact that they got involved as well, and hopefully this year we can get West Virginia Tech involved to continue to make this a bigger thing for this area.
For kind of this message to the community, you've talked often, you've had a phrase as far as when we're planning our promotions for the year, in so many words, do what you need to do throughout the year, but you need to get this one right as far as the Play4Kay game. A little bit more on just why this particular one means so much to you.
Okay, well, first of all, Kay Yao is somebody that I have always looked up to. I only got to spend a couple minutes with her in my entire life, but it didn't matter. That was the impact that she had, even on me. And as you know, young females trying to get into coaching and coaching basketball, it's a tough profession to get into, and we all look up to those people that have done it well, and Coach Yao was always one of those people that did it very well. I think one of the ways that it became so important to me was her involvement with Athletes in Action. When I worked there, she was always keeping in contact with us, not so much me, but with us and the people that we have involved there. And just knowing that her heart for this thing was so big makes it important to me and a lot of other coaches around the nation. So that's why not only do I want to honor Coach Yao because she was in somewhat a mentor to me, it's because it's so important to so many people across the nation, across the world. And like I said, you know, one of those statistics that, you know, there's a good chance 3 to 4 of, you know, the kids sitting in my locker room may have to deal with this someday. So that always hits home. I
got about 30 seconds left. Just kind of any closing comments or your one last final appeal to the community to get as many people out there as we can on February 11th.
Sure. We would love to have anybody that this is important to. Like I said, cancer is one of those unfortunate diseases that has had to touch many families. I salute Reed Bravo for partnering with us, and hopefully, you know, at that game, reducing our admission prices, people will feel like they can come out and support that cause, support our team, and just hopefully making an impact in this community, because not only is it important for me to make an impact nationally for the Play4Kay, it's really important that we make a community impact. So we would love to see you there.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Coach. I couldn't put any better myself. Again, that's February 11th, 1 o'clock against WVU Tech here in Lingle Court. Admission will be reduced, and Reed Bravo will be on hand to take donations toward the fight against women's cancers in the Richmond area. We'll be right back here on Inside IUE Sports.